Hi there, welcome to Hobbs Farm. I'm Hobbs, also known as Hobgoblin, or even Steve, if you like. It's all good. What I'm going to be doing today, a little bit on courseplay, and I'm hoping to do a series of these. I've set out to do this before. I've never got around to doing them all, so we shall see what actually happens. But I'm hoping to do at least a good proportion of the modes, or will at least get you started. If you want to use courseplay, can at least get you started. I was just finishing up a bunker, and this is a bucket I've modified to have a little bit more weight. As you can see, it's quite heavy, but this shouldn't. Anyway, this is a little tip if you want to get the maximum out of a bunker. There shouldn't be anything up this end because I've already been over it, but if you just tip it up, if it's too full it won't accept anything. And but I do know there's a gap up here, as you can see there. So there we go. I think we're getting a little bit over the edge and into the other one there, but you can see here though, I mean, for those that haven't seen this before, you can see the walls now actually work. What's down in there is what's been pushed around the corner. So that's a full bunker now, and we're at 4,733,333. Don't think I want to put any more in that, so I like that. That's a nice number. So it's not quite compacted, but 98, 99. I don't go too fast. So one thing with here we go, with having the leveler set up to run in and out of the bunker, it actually levels itself. So we're going to come down with the thump. There we go, and I can drop the rest in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do it's grain transport mode. So we're going to pop this back away. In grain transport mode, basically it's also I sort of think of it as load at start mode, because that's exactly what it does. It wherever you start this, it doesn't move until it's loaded. Up until you can set a percentage. I mean, you can tell it to go at 70 or 80 or 90, 100%. But if it's being loaded, it's not going to just shoot off if it gets to 70%. It will, if it's being loaded, it will sit there until it either gets loaded, or if there's a pause, if there's a gap where it's not being loaded, and it's over the required percentage, then it will move off. So what we're going to do, we should have enough chaff in the right-hand bunker here, and this has already got a route set, but it's actually for the bunker next to the one we want to use. So switch that off. So grain transport mode is the first mode, so it is the one highlighted there. So if I highlight the one next to it and put my pointer on, I know from experience I don't think it shows the mouse pointer, but what you will get now is you've got the blue, what's shown up in blue there, and it does say grain transport brackets load at start, and that's the mode you want. So we'll stick it on there. Whilst we're here, we will tell this to start filling, and we should have quite a bit of chaff in there. Yes, we do. 400,000, so that's great. So we'll start that loading. What you might not expect is I'm going to unhitch the trailer and leave it behind while we record. There is a very good reason for this, and it's to do with the reversing. So start course recording. we're going to drive around. This is, although I'm in the UK, this is based in the US, so even though there's no traffic, I do drive on the right. There are vehicles. I've actually stopped most of the stuff from moving at the moment, but normally there are vehicles driving both directions down here. So we go straight ahead. There's our bunker. Now this is the point at which we get to the reason why there is no trailer on. And that's because for the reversing part you don't want the trailer on. Where you put the vehicle is part of where it will send the trailer to. So I'm going to imagine I've got a trailer on, so I'm going to turn away from the bunker. So imagine that would be my trailer about straight by now, hopefully. I'm going to tell it to go into reverse driving, and then I'm going to reverse back. Now, reversing an angle isn't a problem. It's, in fact, if anything, it might be an advantage at the moment with the way that the bunkers are working. I'm going to go further back as far as I think. So that'll do. It won't go that far back, but that's where I'm going to send it to. I'm quite happy with doing it at an angle because I think with it starting pretty much as soon as it goes over into the area it can tip, getting that angle might just help it tip a little bit more when there's a little bit of chaff left behind, because you don't want it running out of space. So anyway, back into forward driving. Follow that line out for a moment. Take a nice swing out. Now the shortest route would be for me to go right and back in through the main gate. Because of the way I like to do things, I'm going to go left. Again, because there's traffic about, I'm going to cut across this little bit here. But what we're doing is we're going to go up and past the fuel point. That means that if it does get low on fuel, it can fuel up. I can see the symbol for fuel, so that's great. Then we're going to line up on the trailer, because you need to be able to get from the last point to the first point without any issues. So if we point ourselves at the trailer, this is the other advantage of doing this, because you can see exactly where you're starting. Now those are the farm silos, and it's the north silo, so that's FS17. So I'm going to save this D for delivery. Farm R, because it's the right silo. And it's to FSN, farm silo north. I've got all these little codes in my head. You don't have to follow those or even try to, but you know, you'll make up your own ones, I'm sure. But I try and stick to sort of a code that I can remember, and that sort of thing. Will, if I, you know, occasionally I said something up and then I go forget what it was I called things, and I'll just change it, or I'll think of a better one. But these seems to be sticking in my head at the moment, so that's fine. So what we do now, that's loaded while we've been away. So I'm going to back up and tell it to drive the course. So what it would ordinarily do is stop at that point until it was loaded. It's already loaded. And so away it'll go. The speed is set up to from recording. I didn't go particularly fast, so I'm not going to worry about that. If I wanted to, if I was having trouble with it wobbling or moving about, sometimes you do that with the trucks that can go faster, is you can change that to maximum speed, reduce the speed, or we go, and then change it back to from recording, and it'll then come up with a maximum speed. So it'll use the speed from the course if it's lower, but if I go over 20 miles an hour, it will stick to 20. Why? Because it's safer. You don't have any problems. You don't tend to have them wobbling, and at the end of the day, you're not having to drive it at that speed. So why worry about how fast it goes? It can take its time. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to jump out at this point. And we're going to find out if I did my reverse bit okay. I'm going to jump up in the pile here. Just talking of which, we can blanket that while we're at it. And that appears to have we got stuck. I have an awful... Oh, here we go. That'll do. And we're finding out how the reversing went. It yes, as I say, it stops as soon as it's able to tip. Which is why I say that angle might just help. But it's tipped the whole lot, and away it'll go for another load. So this is, yeah, because that was it. This is one of the ones I changed because this is FSL, which yeah, it's actually FSS. But anyway, just to make it easier for me to record, I'm going to push this back myself, and we're gonna sort out. This is actually mode 10. So we're doing the first mode and then the last mode, but the first mode that I showed you, that can be used to sell products. So it's rather than coming to reverse over to these bunkers, you could just go over the grid of a sell point and go back, and it will sell your stuff for you. But I've showed you there the reversing, just because it's a few birds with one stone there. You can get to show you reversing, you get to show you how to do all the filling of pits, but you can use that for so much more. So, I'm going to come back in the bay, and lift the thing up. Now, we're already in the right mode, which is over here, this one. Set this up. I'm going to bring that up to 2 automatic speed. I've got the you've got the blade width, which is roughly this. I've got it 6.8. It's probably not quite accurate. It's probably a little bit narrower than that, but that works quite well because it doesn't. It starts turning away from the wall a little bit earlier and makes it slightly less likely to get caught. But anyway, this is one of the easiest ones to set up. We start in here a little way into the bunker. We press start recording. Now, once we're at the bunker, we can go off to one side. I am going to slightly because the vehicle comes in and goes to the other side, so we're going to just make sure we're out of the way. So pull forward, nicely out of the way. A little bit more. Okay, a waiting point, put it into reverse mode, and then reverse back. And we're going to reverse back so that we line up on the centre. Stop. Save. And this is level farm silo north. And then we're going to move out of the way because Matey's back. I can see him coming in the background. So we just let him go. Might dive in behind him actually and just shove some more of that back if we get a chance. Squeeze in there. I'll line that up on there. It might cause the other vehicle to stop, it might not. No, they've got it a bit more sus now. So it'll find its level and I do recommend, from what I've seen and done, I do recommend the vehicles that bend in the middle. They just seem to work that bit better at this, and a good bit of power. So a vehicle like that, yeah, not the cheapest. You can use other ones, you can use smaller ones, I mean, but I do recommend something like that if you can. And while it's doing that, I'm going to fast forward the time a little bit. Because if I remember how. There we go. As nice as it looks with the light, you want to be able to see what we're doing. So what this does now, oh, that's it, the silo is opened. So that fermented overnight, that's brilliant. So I think I'll see the tractor coming back. So as it comes back, the leveler vehicle recognises that it's back. It tells it to stop, and then it goes up to its waiting point and waits there while it delivers its load of chaff. No, I must be seeing one of the other vehicles that was parked up that way. But we'll hang on, I think. Oh, here we go. It's just popped into view. There we go, that's stopped. Now hopefully what this will do now, at the end of this one or the end of the next one, I'm hoping it's this one, it will recognise that that vehicle is there, pop up to the waiting point, yep, there it goes. You see there, I was a little indecisive about where I was going. And there we go, it then invites the other vehicle to move. I have it set up only to stop for courseplay control vehicles, because I figure I can always, if I'm driving it, I can kind of dodge around it or deal with it. Didn't quite get straight, but I was close enough. Nothing that that it couldn't deal with by the looks of things. Another load successfully tipped. It then drives off, and at some point during that, this will recognise that it's gone. There it goes. if you one thing I'll show you before I end this particular video, if you're not happy with the speed, you can change that. It's actually in here, so we've got maximum speed while pushing. We can up that here. It doesn't go as fast as you tell it, but it does speed it up a bit. We can also reversing speed up, so between the two of them you can get it to go a bit faster. It's a little bit more choppy. I might just put it up one, actually, just a little bit faster. Go watch it because you're slightly more likely to have it skip a point or something. But so what I'll do is, doesn't match up. There we go. Seems to be a good compromise. Right, so I'll leave that one there and post it up. I'm going to immediately step onto some more stuff, but I don't want to make each one too long. But that is your grain transport mode, or chaff transport if you prefer, and your levelling mode. So I hope you have fun with those, and I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye bye for now.